Hey, Crypto Growth Fam, how's it going? This is your host Shazib signing in. We're back with another video, guys. In this video, we will be discussing Stellar XLM, key to the global economy. It's going to be an interesting one, guys, so make sure to watch till the end. And folks, for those of you who are new to the channel, we primarily discuss utility coins and potential gems. If you're interested in any of that stuff, then subscribe the channel and hit the notification icon for regular videos. And you can also support the channel by becoming a Patreon, so do check that out as well, only if you're interested. And folks, keep your assets safe, and for that, you guys can check out the Crypto Growth exclusive discount offer on Decent. Decent is convenient, safe, and secure. You can check out their biometric wallet, which has got a phenomenal $50 off. And you can also check out their biometric wallet 2x package, guys, which has got an astonishing $129 off only if you follow the link in the description box below. By the way, folks, Decent supports 3000 plus of your favorite coins and tokens, and it supports 50 plus blockchain mainnets, including Stellar. I personally prefer storing the assets in a cold hardware wallet, so do check out Decent and be safe. Anyways, guys, Stellar hasn't is still hovering above and below the 10-cent level over here. Nothing much has changed with its chart, so nothing new. Guys, I saw this post in their official X handle, seemed interesting. I wanted to share this with you guys. Look at this. This from Danelle Dixon, August 22, 2024. So one of the latest posts. What if the key to global economic growth was sitting in half the world's pockets? Mary Ellen Iskandarian joins me on Block by Block to discuss how women's financial access isn't just right, it is smart business. Tune in. So, guys, let's check it out.
Well, it's fascinating to me because I'll be honest and tell you that 5 years ago, I probably didn't have this at my fingertips. I recognized the importance of getting just even internet and access to just tools that a lot of us take for granted to women was a really, really important step. But then when I started looking at some of the World Bank data and recognizing that everything you just said, the education of the children, the healthcare, and then the improvements in housing, that's a direct line to improvement of the GDP of every country. And I think that to me is what is like we try to focus around that GDP improvement number because it's something that maybe will target those financial services institutions. But it is something that, you shouldn't have to make the case, but of course we constantly have to.
And just to say one more thing on that, and I'm so glad you brought the sort of the macro view to the table, because all too often we do maybe over index on the micro impacts. It was a really watershed moment when the IMF declared financial inclusion as a macro critical factor. For decades, the IMF was about financial stability, and that was the be all and end all of their mission. And then they really started to look at what inclusion actually does to stability, does to the ability of a government to communicate policy. If 3/4 of your population isn't included in the system that you're using monetary instruments to drive inflation or whatever, your policy is going to be a whole lot less effective. So I think that moment was a really critical shift in the conversation and the understanding of that macro impact you referred to.
Well, and I'm hopeful that shift actually plays out in terms of like how on a country by country basis, especially those countries that are hyper focused on increasing the GDP. I actually have to be honest and say that I haven't seen that be as much of a focus area that I'd like to see, but I have seen in some countries that there are smaller countries where they are focusing on getting control into the hands of the women so that they can control in terms of like the financial, getting them access to financial services so that they can do this. I want to see more of that because I feel like that's just empowering the whole family and bringing the country up in so many ways. So sticking with this idea of how to make an impact, we've always had these conversations around the importance of product development and product development to promote financial inclusion. We focus a lot on access because that's sort of the SDF's focus, but financial inclusion is a lot of what you focus on, and especially for low-income women. And you talk about bringing the bank to her. So can you share more about how you think about that? And the work that Women's World Banking is doing in this space to really focus on that, bringing the bank to her, and how it's different from what's been done historically.
So thank you so much for making that distinction between, access and usage. And
it's such an important distinction. And everybody talks about financial inclusion, and I'm always like, but wait, that is not our job. We're really good at access, and other people are really good at inclusion.
Right. Well, and we just, it's again, sort of one of the frustrations of, the way financial inclusion has typically been measured has been, opening an account and how many accounts get opened. And that's, absolutely the first step, and how wonderful when we started measuring and counting, digital accounts, when we started looking at having an account in a mobile wallet as being included. But it's about how you use it and why you use it. And this is where the bringing the bank to her becomes so important, because the vast majority of financial products are traditionally designed by men to meet the needs that men have. One of the very first wallets that Women's World Banking ever worked on was a product that they sort of led with bill pay, which was great and is a great, sort of usage thing. But in this country, it was a Middle Eastern country, it was just very customary that men paid the electric bill. It was not a bill that a woman was responsible for. She covered other costs. Those other things weren't included in the menu of things that the woman could pay. So your usage by women, it's always so interesting. The take-up rates of particularly digital financial tools tend to be very similar at the outset, and then where they fall off the customer journey is the indicator of whether this is actually meeting a genuine need. One of my absolutely favorite stories, and you'll forgive me for going on a little bit here, but I think it just touches on so much about what our assumptions are and what is actually underlying women's usage of a financial service. We were brought in by the largest mobile wallet in Pakistan a few years ago. And I'm convinced the only reason we were brought in, they had 12% of their clients were women, was because they had a woman CTO. And
sometimes that's the way to get in, and that's the way to take advantage of.
Exactly. And she had gotten sort of the sign off from her boss for a so-called pink product, something that was going to have, marketing around it that was supposed to be appealing to women. But when we looked at the data, and I can't emphasize enough, if you're going to collect data, you got to use it to make decisions. And when we looked at the company's data, those 12% women clients were using the same products. They were using the bill pay. They were using remittance products. They were using the exact same products at the same kind of volumes, and leading to similar profitability levels as men. But where the real issue was is this company's onboarding process was through, as many digital providers have a network of mobile agents, 97% of whom were men, and they were, small sort of kiosk shops. So in this really traditionally conservative environment, if a woman wanted to open an account with this company, she had to go into a shop alone with a man who wasn't her husband, and then give him her cell phone number. So this just wasn't happening. So we were very fortunate that Unilever had built a network of nationwide women kiosk owners, and they had done a great job in picking women that were very trusted in the community, that already had the husbands were completely bought into their women, shopping with this group of kiosks. We trained that group of women as banking agents for the company that we've been hired by. And we don't usually get results quite this remarkable, but like in 6 months, we went from 12% to 42%.
Wow.
There was so much pent up demand for these services, but the company just hadn't made them accessible in a way that was usable in that cultural context for women.
Well, it sounds like in that case too, that was part.
Anyways, guys, you have to watch this whole thing. What do you guys think about financial inclusion of women and other people in the underdeveloped countries? And what do you guys think about Stellar? Can it provide anything useful? I would really like your opinions. Do hit the comment box below and let the community know. Anyways, guys, this was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification icon if you're interested in utility coins and potential gems. And you can also support the channel by becoming a Patreon. So do check that out. Like I always say in the end, until next time, stay blessed and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone.